Hey guys, it is Lawrence here and welcome to this video. And today I want to walk you through exactly how you can start signing clients for your own cold outreach agency. I'm going to hold nothing back. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know in order to not only get clients, but also get good clients that you can charge a lot of money for and that are going to make you a lot of money. There's 4 things that we need to cover, as you can see on my screen here, and I'm going to walk you through each one of these in detail. And by the time we get to number 4, you're going to have everything you need to be able to go away and start generating your own clients for your own cold outreach agency. If you don't know what a cold outreach agency is, I'll briefly explain, but I'm sure you probably do if you're watching this video. It's where you're doing outreach on behalf of a business to generate leads, clients, calls, get attention from potential clients and get them to start working with you. So as I said, 4 steps. First one is your niche, your industry, who you're going to be targeting. And this is something that I'm sure you've heard time and time again. You need to target somebody. If you end up targeting everybody, you'll end up speaking to nobody. And the reason you hear it time and time again is because it's so important. And a lot of times people kind of ignore this. And I certainly fell for that trap. I thought, well, I'm going to target more people because if I target more people, I'll get more clients. And the opposite is true. And a good way to think about it is, let's say you're at a house party and you want to get someone's attention from the other side of the room. There's 50 people in the room, everybody's talking, it's loud, and people are having a good time. And you want to get this particular person's attention. You could shout like, hey, over here, it's me. Chances are that person's not going to turn around. But if you were to shout like, hey, John, and the person you wanted to get hold of was called John, the chances of him turning around are a lot higher. And the reason being is that your message is relevant to John because you're going, hey, John. And it's the exact same thing when you're reaching out to businesses. If you're trying to reach out to everybody and you've got this like bland vanilla messaging, nobody's going to really take notice. But if you're reaching out to somebody and it's extremely relevant to them, guess what? It's going to be a lot easier to get their attention. So we want to make sure that we are using the power of being able to grab someone's attention, the power of relevance. That is the first step to being able to sign clients for your cold outreach agency. And it needs to go one step further. So now we understand the importance of a niche. We now need to start to talk about what niches are better than others. And I'm not going to tell you what niche to go after because there's lots of niches that you can go after. And it's up to you to decide which one maybe you're most passionate about or feel the closest alignment to. But what you do need to bear in mind when you are selecting a niche is understanding that the businesses that you're going to work with, they need to be offering a very outcome-focused service or product. So I'll give you a quick example, right? So I spoke to somebody the other day that has just started their cold outreach agency and they want help. So we're kind of working with them to grow their agency quicker and help them sign more clients. But one of the clients that they had signed was a furniture company. And basically it's going to be very difficult for my client to get his clients good results because like if you're just picture this, right? So let's say you reach out to somebody and you say, hey, I've got some chairs. Do you want to buy them? It's like, well, I was never really looking for chairs. I didn't wake up this morning thinking, I wish I knew where I could buy more chairs from. So the likelihood is, and if you put yourself in in the shoes of the receiver of that email, probably not that interested in buying some chairs. So what makes a good client then? It needs to be outcome focused. And what we want to be doing is we want to be working with clients that solve big problems. And not only big problems, but common problems as well. Big common problems. So what are big common problems? Well, they're not selling chairs. Selling chairs is not a big problem and it's not a common problem. The vast majority of business owners do not wake up in the morning thinking, I wish I had more chairs. They wake up in the morning thinking, I wish I had more money. I wish I had more time. I wish I had more leads. I wish I had more calls. I wish I had more clients. I wish I had a easier way of running my business. Like they're the common big problems. And so we need to target niches that solve those problems for their clients. Hope this is all kind of making sense. So once we've selected our niche based off those criteria, the next thing that we need to do, number 2, is to basically create an offer. And I'm going to walk you through now how to create a really solid offer for your niche. But one thing to bear in mind, just to jump back to the niche quickly, and this is very much connected to these two, is that if you don't have a niche, you can't create a good offer. So don't skip part 1 and go straight to part 2 because you can't have part 2 unless you've completed part 1. So don't skip go, don't collect $200. You've got to go back and you've got to make sure that you've actually chosen a specific niche, because only once you've done that will the offer part make sense. So let's dive into offer creation. So first of all, like, what is an offer? An offer is a reason that you're giving somebody to take action and want to speak with you. So you're going to need to create an offer for yourself in order to sign clients. And then once you sign a client, you then need to help your clients create offers. So it's not just about creating, outreach systems. You need to help them with their messaging as well. So what I'm about to share with you is not only going to help you sign clients, but it's going to help you with the service delivery as well. And what I love about cold outreach is that what you do for yourself in order to sign clients is the exact same thing that you're going to do once you have signed a client. So you only need to get good at like one set of skills. And then once you're good at that single skill, you can then just replicate it across multiple clients. To give you an example, you need to be good at creating an offer for yourself. And then you need to be good at sending that offer out to potential clients. And then once you sign a client, you then need to do two things. You need to create them an offer and send that offer to potential clients. So you can see how like you only need to get good at really one thing, which is cold outreach. Compare that to so many other businesses where you have to get good at copywriting, you have to get good at running ads, you have to get good at like conversion rate optimization, SMS flows, YouTube ads, TikTok ads, Snapchat ads, drop shipping. Like there's so many different things that you have to be not only proficient in, but great in if you want to succeed. With a cold outreach agency, you just need to get good at cold outreach. You're doing it for yourself, you do it for your clients. Really simple, really straightforward. I digress slightly. Let's get back to the offer and talk about how we create a good one. Here we have an offer creation sheet that we will fill in together, and you can take this and fill it in yourself. Let's look at a niche. So who are we going to be targeting? So let's say that we are going to target SaaS companies. So what we need to do is, let's first of all discuss why we've chosen SaaS companies. Not all SaaS companies are the same, obviously, but if we want to target SaaS companies that maybe solve common problems for businesses, so maybe they solve lead generation problems, maybe they help their clients save lots of time, maybe they help their clients convert more leads into paying clients, maybe they help with attribution that makes them more money, maybe they help with organizing a client's business, client's life, making them save money, save time, save stress, save headaches. Like all of these are quite common and big problems that can be solved. So that's why maybe SaaS companies might be a good niche to go after. And just because I've used SaaS in this example does not mean that like SaaS is the best one. It's just a one. There's lots of them out there. If you want a list of a few of the top niches that I think you can go after, then message me on Instagram and I can send it over to you. So what are SaaS companies' most desired outcomes? Well, for this example, we're going to use like leads. They want more leads. Now, I don't know this to be true, but for this example, I need to use something. But what you should do is you should go and find out the answer. You should find out what they want more than anything else. How do you do that? You basically join groups. You join online communities and you start watching what people are talking about. People in that group are going to be saying, how are you doing this? How are you doing that? Anybody know how to achieve this? Anybody like got any new ways or tips to do this, that, or the third? So we need to go and find out what they actually want. In this example, let's say they want sales calls. We're now kind of putting our offer together. We know that we're going to be targeting SaaS companies and we're going to be offering them sales calls because we've done our research and we find out that that's the thing that they want more than anything else. Right, well, how many sales calls do they want? There's no point saying that, we're going to get you one sales call because that's probably not enough. We're going to get you 1,000 sales calls. Well, that's probably not realistic, too difficult. We need to find out the volume of calls and we need to find out the time frame that we're going to get that volume in, because we could say something like 30. Sounds reasonable. That might be the perfect volume that they're looking for. But if we say like, now we're going to find you 30 sales calls in 365 days, then they're probably going to go, it's not quite enough. That's not really what I was hoping for. I was thinking more like every insert time frame. We need to find out how many calls they want and in what cadence. Is it a week? Is it a day? Is it a month? Is it a quarter? Is it every 6 months? Is it every year? Like how much volume do they want in what time frame? That's the next step. So maybe they want 30 calls every 30 days. Cool. So now we're saying like, hey, SaaS companies, we're going to get you 30 sales calls in 30 days. And now we talk about the risk reversal. And this one's really important. Why should a business that you have just reached out to put their trust in you when you aren't willing to put your trust in yourself? There has to be a level of trust somewhere. And either the client can give it to you or you can give it to yourself. This relationship cannot happen without a level of trust. And it's much easier for you to take that problem out of the equation by putting the trust on yourself and on your services rather than requiring your client to trust you, that doesn't know you, doesn't have a clue who you are, and you've just turned up in their inbox or turned up in their DMs or turned up on the other end of the phone. So we need to include some form of risk reversal. Now, there are different types of risk reversal that we can implement here. We can do money back. We can do continue for free until we do. We can do, there's basically a few where like we've got risk reversal, and then actually I'm going to add a different section here where there's like no risk at all. So the no risk is not that you're taking the risk off the table, but there was never any risk in the first place. And the no risk version of this is like pay on results, pay per call in this example, pay per lead. And I really like this form of risk reversal, or should I say no risk. And the reason being is that not only does it make it a lot easier to sign clients, but it also makes it a lot easier to earn more money from each client that you do sign. So like you could say, hey, Mr. SaaS business owner, I'm going to generate you 30 sales calls in 30 days, and I'm going to charge you $2,000. And if it doesn't work, I'll give you your money back, or I'll continue working with you for free until we do. That's a solid offer. No bones about it. Really good offer. But you're only going to make $2,000 per month if you charge 2K. Or you can say, look, we're going to generate you, Mr. SaaS company, 30 sales calls in 30 days. And the best part of it is that you only pay per call. So there's no risk, there's no commitment really from you, you're just paying per call. And you might generate them, let's say you charge them, I don't know, for argument's sake, you charge them $200. Well, you might generate them 20 calls a month, which is $4,000. So you've just doubled the value per client by making it way easier to sell. So you've got like a double upside there. You've got more money and you've got more clients paying you more money. And it's just a positive feedback loop, positive cycle. So that's how you create an offer. You focus on the niche to begin with. Remember, none of this is possible without actually first having a niche. If you don't have a niche and you go after everybody, people might not want sales calls. People might want just online sales. They might want face-to-face quotations. They might want in-person assessments. They might want teeth whitening, so you can't do this without understanding the niche first. So we've understood the niche. We know what the niche's most desired outcome is. We know how many of that outcome that they want and in what time frame. And then we are either risk reversaling things, or we're just taking the risk off the table completely. We're giving your prospect absolutely no reason to say no. Pretty powerful. So that is offer creation. Hope that makes sense. So we are 2 parts in. We know our niche. We know how to create a really compelling offer for them. Step number 3 is the vehicle. What I mean by this is, what vehicle are you using to not only communicate with your potential clients, but what I recommend is that you also use the same vehicle to actually deliver the service for your clients. So how you sign clients is the exact same thing that you do to deliver the service for your clients. And the reason this is important is, let's say, for example, you get all of your clients through cold calling, and then you do cold DMs for your clients. You then have to get good at cold calling. You have to get good at doing DMs. It's so much easier if you just offer the same service that you use to generate your own clients. So you only have to get good at one skill. It's that single skill success cycle that I talk about. And you want to make sure that you choose the right vehicle for your niche. So all of these are going to be interlaced. Say, for example, your niche is Fortune 500 companies. You're probably not going to be able to message them on Instagram and get them to reply. So maybe cold DMs isn't the right vehicle for that niche. And there's a really cool quote, and I'm gonna completely butcher it and mess it up, from Warren Buffett. He said it's something like, it doesn't matter how fast you row, it matters what boat you're in. This is true not only for the boat or the vehicle of cold outreach, because I do feel like cold outreach is probably the most the easiest, the most effective way to start earning good money online, 10K, 20K, 50K, 100K per month. But you've then got to also figure out within the vehicle of cold outreach, what actual platform, what method are you using? Personally, I use cold email. I think that cold email is one of the most effective because it's not really limited by scale. It allows you to send out an awful lot. Some of these platform-focused outreach methods, take LinkedIn, for example. I know that LinkedIn have recently reduced the number of messages that you can send each day. So you're reliant upon a platform to allow you to do something, and you build a business around a particular platform, and then the platform changes its policies, your business can be impacted a lot. And I know that policies with cold email are changing quite a lot, but the premise of emailing is always going to be there. It's too big, it's too important. LinkedIn, they might, I don't see this happening, but LinkedIn might take away the messaging part of their platform. You never know. But I don't see email going anywhere anytime soon. So it's just important that you choose the right vehicle, but it's got to connect with your niche. There's no point trying to go after your target person if they're not there. It's like trying to, let's say, for example, I can't think of a better example. This is not a great one, but it's like trying to attract somebody or trying to get in touch with somebody that doesn't drink alcohol and go into a bar. Like, they're probably not going to be in the bar. So you want to make sure that you actually go to the place where your clients or your potential clients are hanging out. So make sure that your niche matches your vehicle and vice versa. Step number 4, drum roll please, the last step. So we've got our niche, we've got our offer, we've got our vehicle. So we know who we're sending something to. We know what the offer is. We know what vehicle, how we're actually going to be sending it. Are we going to be doing it through LinkedIn? Are we going to do it through email? Are we going to do it through cold calls? Are we going to do it through DMs? And now the last thing is actually knowing what to say, the copy. What are we actually sending? Well, yes, we've got our offer, but how do we package that? How do we position it? We can't just say, I'll get you 30 leads in 30 days and you only pay if we get you a lead. Like, it's probably ain't going to cut the mustard, so to speak. So we need to understand what we're actually going to write. And what I'm going to do here is, like magic, we have a kind of copy structure. And what I'm not going to do is say this, and then say this, and then say this, because that's just not going to work. You're not going to get the results that you want, because every industry, every niche is different. And, if everybody uses the same thing, then everybody's going to get the same results. And over time, that's going to get worse and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to teach you how to write it as opposed to what to say. So I can teach you how to fish as opposed to give you a fish. So there are a few rules to follow. Rule number 1, when it comes to writing copy, is it cannot sound or read like a cold outreach message, because then it's just not going to work very well. So you've got to make it seem like you know this person and that they're your best mate and you're reaching out to them just as you would anybody else. We want to break their thinking pattern. So the worst thing that you can do is send a cold email, or the worst thing that can happen. And I'll give you an example, right? I opened up my inbox. I saw the obvious subject line of quick question. It's like, you might as well stand there with a flag saying, this is a cold outreach message. And like, what do? I don't even open it. I just boom, delete. If I do get to the stage where I open the email, I am scanning through the email to see, or the message, to see trigger words. Like, my Instagram DMs are full of video editors trying to work with me. And I get maybe half a dozen a day. And I'm sure some people get way more. Like, I scan through it and I look for the words reels, video editor, YouTube growth, those kind of trigger words. And as soon as I see one of those, I'm like, boom, I know what this is. It's somebody trying to sell me reels. And I don't read the rest of it, and I delete it. And it's because they haven't broken my thinking pattern. My brain can scan the words very quickly, very easily, and understand that this is like a cold outreach. If you write at the end, open to a chat this week, ? It's like, boom, blatantly a cold email, not interested. And so you want to make sure that you're using language and messaging that piques curiosity, makes them think, shit, do I know this person? Should I be knowing what this person's talking about? Because I don't. And when you're sending a message, the first line, the sole responsibility of the first line of a message is to get them to read the second line. The sole responsibility of the second line is to get them to read the third line, and so on and so on and so on. And so if we can make somebody think, do I know this person? Questioning in their mind, then what are they going to do? They're going to read the next sentence to find out. And then with curiosity still there, we haven't scratched that itch, and they go on and they go on and they go on. And before you know it, they've consumed your message. And then they're like, that offer's pretty solid. They're going to get me results. I don't need to do anything. I only have to pay if they get me the result. Sounds pretty good to me. And that is the cornerstone of good copywriting. And that's what we need to do. Make it not sound like cold outreach, break their thinking pattern. And then the next thing is it needs to be outcome and offer focused. We want to pique their curiosity, and then we want to give them the offer as quickly as possible. The idea being is that we just want them to consume the offer, and the offer is going to be good enough to do a lot of the heavy lifting for us. We could improve our copy by 10 times, or we could basically make sure that people consume our offer or improve our offer just by a small margin, and you'd get the same outcome. The offer is the important thing here, not all the copy. The copy's job is to get the offer consumed. And then number 4 is basically, don't talk about yourself. I see this happen all the time. All the time. All people talk about is themselves. We've done this. We've done that. We. I. And if you're weeing or you're eyeing too much, you ain't going to get any clients. It needs to be you. Nobody cares about you, especially when you're reaching out to them for the very first time. Nobody cares. When I do outreach, nobody cares about me. Nobody knows me. At that point, I'm a nuisance in their life. So the last thing I'm going to do when I'm being a nuisance is actually telling them all about me, because they don't give a shit. They care about themselves. So if I can tell them how I can help their lives, that's what they care about. So it's like, I can do this for you. You will get this result. You will have this problem solved. You will get this life after we work together. It's all about them, not about you. And this people mess up on so much because they're so consumed about what is going on in their own head, they forget about what actually interests other people. A lot of people find that they really like people in social situations. They really like people when the person asks them questions about themselves and lets the person talk. Everybody likes to talk about themselves. And like, if you want to get more friends, do that. But you want to make your copy all about the recipient, not about yourself. You can, and we will go through this when I walk you through the structure. There is going to be time to mention you very slightly, but very quickly. But it ain't about you. This email is not about you. It's about them, about what they're going to get out of the relationship. So I like to break it down to 5, sometimes 4 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is when we're creating the copy that we're going to use to reach out to our prospects. Why is it 5, sometimes 4? Sometimes this restating the offer is not necessary. Sometimes it doesn't flow. Sometimes it doesn't sound too good. Sounds a bit repetitive. So sometimes I get rid of it. But I thought I'd include it in this example just to show you. So opening line. What can our opening line be? Well, we know that it's got to break their thinking pattern. We know that it can't sound or read like an outreach message. So you could say something like, I don't know. So you could do some research to begin with. Depends on what level of detail you're going into. But I'll give you an example. I sent somebody an email recently and managed to generate a sales call from sending this one email. And quite often, if I spend 5 minutes on a prospect before I reach out to them, the likelihood of me booking in a sales call is extremely high, maybe 33%, something like that, which is very high. So what I did is I went on their website and I looked at their services and I implied that I might be interested in their service, not by saying I'm interested in your service, but something along the lines of, I noticed your service, that's very interesting. So it's not like I'm interested in it, but they probably assume that I am going to be. So for example, to use this real life example, they were a podcast agency and they did something like a pay on results podcast booking offer. So I said something like, noticed your pay on results podcast booking offer, thought I'd get in touch. So the prospect's probably reading this thinking, oh, this person wants to basically get booked on some podcasts. And then I hit them with the offer straight away. So I'll just use this as an example. We can generate you 30 sales calls in 30 days. And the cool part is that you only pay when we book a qualified sales call on your calendar. Proof. I could say something like, we've worked with more than 200 agencies and we've booked more than 10,000 sales calls so far this year. You might not be able to say something like that. You might not have any client results. So you can do a couple of things. You can either, the simplest thing is go like that and delete it and not include it. Or you can get creative. Now, what you can do is you can say like, the proof is in the pudding. I don't know if that's an American term as well, but it's definitely an English term. The proof is in the pudding, Mr. Prospect. You're reading this right now. So you know that, and then we would basically insert vehicle. So we might do, let's use DMs, for example. So you know that cold DMs work. So then you can say like restate offer. So if you're wanting 30 calls in 30 days, with no risk, because you only pay when we book a call on your calendar, and then your call to action, which would probably be booking a call, or it could be reply to the email or reply to the cold DM or whatever it may be. So if you want 30 calls in 30 days with no risk because you only pay when we book a call on your calendar, then book in a quick call to find out more using this link, blah, blah, blah. So we can say, hey, Mr. Prospect, noticed your pay on results podcast booking offer, thought I'd get in touch. Piqued curiosity. We can generate you 30 sales calls in 30 days. And the cool part is that you only pay when we book a qualified sales call on your calendar. The proof is in the pudding, Mr. Prospect. You're reading this right now, so you know that DMs work. And we can get something like, and we can get your ideal prospects consuming your awesome offer just like you're consuming mine right now. Smiley face. So if you're wanting 30 calls in 30 days with no risk because you only pay when we book a call on your calendar, then book in a quick call to find out more using this link. Ta-da! So there you have it. It's a structure as opposed to a script. You should change your script, your copy frequently, but it should follow the structure and it should follow these rules, which break their thinking pattern. Make sure it doesn't sound like a cold email. Make it outcome focused, offer focused, and don't talk about yourself very much. So there we have it. Number 1 is the niche. Got to make sure we have a niche. Number 2 is the offer. Number 3 is the vehicle. And number 4 is the copy. So that's how you can get more clients for your cold outreach agency, basically. That's pretty much all I've got to say on the matter at this stage. If you like this video, consider liking it. If you want more videos like this, consider subscribing. And if you want to find out how we can help you in more detail, then in the description, you can find a link. You can click on that link and it will explain, there'll be a video of me explaining how we can help in a bit more detail and work with you in a little bit more of a close way. So thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.